Youngpreneurs Podcast, episode number 149, with your host, Victor Ahipenny. What's up, world? Another day, another podcast. And today I am going to show you how to make your business more efficient. Well, I'm not actually. My guest, Nathan Hirsch, is from freeup.com. He is the CEO of FreeUp, and he's also been the Chief Operating Officer of Portlight. He is he's been an entrepreneur in the e-commerce scene for a long time and managed multi-million-dollar businesses, particularly in that place of drop shipping and making the world more efficient so you can have more time to do what you want. And that's what he does. He helps people and businesses grow by freeing up more time. And we'll delve into more of that in the episode. Look, if you love what you're hearing, make sure you jump over to the Youngpreneurs podcast page at passiveincomeyoung.com, where you can get a 4-step business plan on how you can launch your first business online for $0 down before you have to worry about all those niggly things like websites and other things. And if you're really enjoying it, I'd really appreciate it. It helps get the show out to more people. If you can jump over to iTunes, leave a rating and a review, and make sure you subscribe to whoever you're listening to your podcast through, because that's what helps get the message out to more people, and also make sure you never miss an episode. But let's jump into what Nathan has to offer, and so grab a paper and pen because you want to free up as much time as you can to listen to this. And remember, guys, keep living life on your own terms. You're listening to the Youngpreneurs Podcast, the number one resource online for under 35-year-olds, where we chat twice a week to the most inspiring entrepreneurs in the world. We have it all. If you're looking for inspiration, guidance, or actionable tips to help you transition from that job into a business, or if you're ready to take that business to a whole new level, then this is the place to be. Get ready to live life on your own terms. Youngpreneurs, welcome to another episode of the Youngpreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Victor Ahipenny, and as usual, really stoked that you decided to spend some time with us. And by us, I mean my latest guest, Nate, and he is from Portlight, but also his latest company, freeup.com. Welcome to the show, Nathan.
Victor, thanks so much for having me.
Give me a bit of a rundown about, I love kind of breaking down the barriers for young entrepreneurs out there. And we know that, people often use the excuses of, so-and-so had money, that's why they got a successful business, or so-and-so was smarter than me, and that's why they got a successful business, or their parents gave them the foot up, or whatever. What did growing up look like for you? And was entrepreneurship always on the cards? Was it, was it always there from day one? What did it all kind of look like for you?
Yeah, so my parents are both teachers. My mom started a nonprofit business when I was young, so I kind of got to experience her started and the hours that she put into it, and building it from nothing and moving to a bigger location and then a bigger location after that. So that was kind of a cool experience. But I never really had anything handed to me. The plan was always to graduate and get a full-time job and have a career and retire, just like my parents did. But what happened was my parents, they made me get a job when I was in middle school and high school, which was a good thing for me. I learned a lot. But one thing that I learned from having these different jobs, and they were in retail, is that I hated it and I didn't want to do it. And I looked up to the bosses and the people who had started the business because I had some internships and I had the opportunity to interact with them, and they had that freedom and they could be anywhere and work anytime and tell people what to do. And it was just like this whole oh, wow, I could get a 9-to-5 job, or I could start a company and become them. And it was a lot more appealing. So in the back of my mind, it's what I always wanted to do. I'm a very realistic person. So I also know that most businesses fail, that it's not everyone that starts a business becomes that boss entrepreneur. So when I got to college, I kind of had it in the back of my mind. I got a degree in entrepreneurship and small business management, but I also kept my internships, and I kind of had that as a backup. And when I started buying and selling textbooks in college and making side money, which eventually led me to starting my first Amazon business, I never had the mentality that, hey, I'm building something big, or this is going to be my career. It was always all right, I'll try it while I'm young. If it works out, great. If not, I can always go out and get a real job.
And what did that Amazon business end up looking like?
Yeah, so I started buying and selling textbooks, and before I knew it, I had lines out the door of people trying to sell me books over the bookstore because I was giving them a higher rate. But what I quickly realized was I didn't want to spend the rest of my life dragging around textbooks. They're heavy, it's a lot of
Mm.
work. That led me to Amazon because you don't sell books for very long without selling on Amazon. I became addicted to it, and I wanted to find a way to run a business on Amazon in college with no money and not carrying books all day. So I had this idea of drop shipping way before I knew what drop shipping was. I actually found out the term like years later of being able to sell other people's products without touching it, having the product shipped from them to the customer. I'm the middleman. I make that percentage. I handle the customer service, which is something I was very good at for my internships. And that idea kind of developed. And then from there, it was trial and error of trying different products, different brands, different vendors. And I eventually realized that I could sell baby products very well, which was kind of a funny situation. I was a 20-year-old college guy selling baby products all day. And that business really took off, and that was really my first entrepreneurial adventure.
And how was it from a university side, like trying to keep doing university when you're making some decent money on Amazon? Like, I feel like I would have never turned up to class and wouldn't have got a degree.
I ended up getting really good grades in college. I graduated with Dean's List every semester. I graduated. I had the degree in my back pocket, but there were a lot of classes where I was listing baby products in the back and getting weird looks. But I mean, my parents were both teachers, so doing poorly in school was not an option. And yeah, I took school very seriously as well.
And from there, you left school. What did life look like? How did you get from from leaving university to free up?
Yeah, so that was kind of the moment of truth when I graduated, and I was like, okay, I have this business, but I just got a degree. I have these job offers. What do I do? And it was a really tough few weeks trying to make that decision. And I eventually decided to stick with the Amazon store. I ended up moving to Stamford, Connecticut, which I didn't really like, and then eventually to Florida and opening up an office there, which ended up being one of my worst business decisions, and we got rid of that. But I started an office. I started hiring people for the first time, hiring people with salaries. And I quickly realized that not only was I not getting a lot out of them because they were spending, I was paying them 40, 50, $60,000 a year, but they were spending a lot of their time on data entry tasks and lower level tasks. But I was also spending just so much of my time on HR, just going through resumes and applicants and multiple rounds of interviews and stuff like that. So I became determined to hire international workers and give all my employees assistance, but I also wanted a better way to hire. So that's really when I came up with FreeUp, where instead of going to a job board as a business owner and posting a job and getting hundreds of applicants and interviewing them and all that stuff that goes with it, with FreeUp, we do it differently. We get hundreds of applicants every week. We have a great interview process based on my 8 years of hiring. We have 15 pages of communication guidelines our workers have to memorize and get tested on. And then we make the top 1% of workers that get into our network available to our clients. So it gives clients the ability to get the top workers quickly. And as a business owner from when I was running my Amazon store, I always wished that I had a way to do that.
And so for people out there who don't kind of understand or grasp the concept or the power of outsourcing, so yeah, this is hiring people who aren't in your country, aren't physically there, yeah, are working from different places. What kind of things can people hire for their business over, yeah, outsourced or yeah?
Yeah, so FreeUp is more than an outsourcing company. We do about 40% US, 40% Philippines, and 20% scattered. And there are advantages to hiring outsourced work, different currencies or different people in different countries. You can pay them less and get them to do maybe tasks that people in the US won't agree to. But the benefit of hiring remote workers is huge. If you think about it, when I was in college, when I wanted to hire, I was limited to the college students around me, which wasn't great. There are a lot of pros and cons to hiring college students. But then when I moved to Orlando, I can only hire people in Orlando that can come to my office. I'm also competing with every other business in Orlando for all the talent out there. When you change to remote, and even if you hire remote US workers in other states, or if you hire someone from Germany or wherever it is, you just get access to all this talent that you wouldn't normally have around you. And you can also hire people for short-term jobs and part-time, and these contractors have multiple other clients, so you're not necessarily locked in. And there's just so many advantages that I found to doing it that I've really encouraged other businesses to take that same route. And that's not to say there isn't a time and a place for having an employee. You obviously can't replace your warehouse staff with remote workers, but there's just so much benefit of having that resource of remote workers at your fingertips.
And so a business comes to you, an entrepreneur, a small business owner, large business owner comes to you. What does that process look like?
Yeah, so we make it really simple. It's free to sign up. There's no monthly fee. You sign up as a client. You're in the system. Whenever you need a worker, you have access to them. You submit a worker request. It takes 30 seconds. It'll ask you a few questions so we know exactly what you need. Within a few hours, even a few minutes, we'll introduce you to a worker. Some people come to us because they don't have time to interview at all, or they used us before, and they can click the hire button and get started right away. If you want to interview the worker and talk to them first, that's fine. If you like them, you click hire. If for whatever reason we didn't get it right, you can provide us feedback and we'll get you someone else. And we really make it that simple, and we're very hands-on to make sure you have a good experience.
And so for people out there, I mean, I guess I'll give them an understanding, like, you can get people to do from data entry to web development, app design, customer service. I'm just trying to. I know there's a ton of different things, but off the top of my head, those are some of the pretty powerful things you can do. Graphic design, all these different things that people, they either go hunting around. Again, they haven't got the time to do it. They go hunting around locally, and whereas they can potentially get a full-time staff member or a part-time staff member, a contractor for either a fraction of the price or a larger talent pool who, if they're going through someone, say, like you, the work priority is the person is working for you, not for another company. So you go down the list, or you have a bad experience and things like that. How do you obviously hire the 1%? How do you protect against those, or try and protect against those bad experiences?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a client before, right? I've hired hundreds of remote workers to work for myself. So I know what clients like and I know what clients hate. And I really know what clients hate. So I've created these policies and these guidelines that I hold my workers to that do everything to not only have a great client experience, but be fair to the workers as well. And it's led to this overwhelmingly positive marketplace that we built at FreeUp, where we, on the front end, we're only hiring people that have really good skill set and have really good attitude and communication skills, which is incredibly important. But then we also have these policies that we back up and we enforce, and our clients are aware of them so they can hold their workers accountable and can come to us if there's any issues. And that's not to say that there's zero issues at any day at FreeUp. I mean, it is real life. It's not 100% industry. It's freelancing. But we're there to resolve issues quickly. And for the most part, we have way less issues than other marketplaces.
And with your business, when you're first starting up the FreeUp side of things, or I guess even now, what's your client acquisition process look like?
Yeah, I mean, we have social media and ads there. We have our referral program, which is incredible. Any clients that come to us through a referral, you get 50 cents for every hour that we build with that client forever. And we're on pace to pay out over $100,000 a year in referral program. I do these podcasts and webinars, and I do some guest speaking about hiring, because we like to help our clients out and promote different content on how to get the most out of your workers, how to motivate them, how to decrease turnover, stuff like that. On the back end, we have an online hiring mastermind group that people can join to get even more content. We have our FreeUp blog. We actually just launched a book yesterday called FreeUp 50 Secrets to Bootstrapping Multi-Million-Dollar Companies. And we have a free ebook that you can get with it that tells a lot about the mistakes that people make with outsourcing. So a lot of it is the awesome content that my team puts out there to really help business owners along the way if they've never hired before, or they have had bad experience in the past, or they just want to take their hiring to the next level.
Yeah, and I mean that's what's, I think, super cool in this whole space. I mean, currently in a faraway world, or in the Philippines, this podcast is getting edited by one of my remote team, which is absolutely awesome, because it frees me up to do more podcasts, talking to awesome people like you, and stay in my doing what I'm best at, in different businesses that I run, and not trying to wear a million different hats. What if we were to go into, I guess, 3 tips for people who are looking to either transition into the remote hiring space, either mistakes or tips that you would give to people who are getting in there, whether they say went through you or anything, just to kind of open their eyes, what would they be?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is establish communication and establish expectations up front. Every worker has had different clients. They all communicate in different ways. They all have different expectations. And if you're a client getting a worker for the first time, even if they're the best worker in the world, if you don't lay out those expectations and really tell people how you want it done, what your pet peeves are, how you want to be communicated with, what other people on the team they should be communicating with, you can really go on the wrong track pretty quickly. So my biggest advice is to really focus on those things, have an onboarding process. Even if you just have a document that just lays it all out and you hand it to them and you're like, read this and confirm you understand, it'll really eliminate 99% of the problems that you could have down the line.
Nice. And from a personal side of things, you've obviously, do you have a team in Orlando here at the moment, or are you completely around the world?
I'm in Orlando right now. I do travel a little bit, but I have a great girlfriend here. I have a good group of friends here. I really like the area. I play a lot of sports here, so I'm in Orlando for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, but do you have a team? Sorry, like a team as in working with you there, or are you just all remote around the world?
I have a 20-person internal team that's an A+ team, and they're all remote.
Yeah, awesome. And with a normal day, do you have a normal day, and what does it look like?
I never have a normal day. My day, right on freeup.com, you can book a meeting right with me. So my calendar, I'll wake up to different meetings with different clients and potential clients and stuff like that. I have lots of podcasts and stuff scheduled at all different times with people all around the world, different promotions and stuff like that. So, and there's always issues and meetings that you have with a business and projects that you're working on. So part of what I like of being an entrepreneur is I never have the same day back to back.
Yeah. And if we were to fast forward 2 years into the future, what does FreeUp look like, and what are you doing in it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have something really great here. And if you had told me when I first started my Amazon store that I'd be running FreeUp, I wouldn't have believed you. So who knows what the future has in store. But I think we can really disrupt the hiring industry, the remote hiring industry. Right now, it's been done the same way for so long. People are sick of it. You hear people complaining about the different marketplaces out there. And I think we really have a chance to be different and really up what the freelance marketplaces should be.
Yep. And I mean that, it's the continued issue with things like Upwork or onlinehire.ph and stuff. There's just so many niggly things that just piss people off that then they just don't go back, and you get a sour taste. And all you need is that, and then someone goes, "Oh, I'm just going to hire locally because it's apparently easier," or whatever it may be. So I mean, I think that's a pretty cool space to be in. Just got one last question to wind things up. If you do you have any resources or books that you would recommend outside of your own to any aspiring young entrepreneurs that have kind of had a big influence on you?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend reading the Amazon Jeff Bezos book. If you're like me and you're focused on customer service, or in my case, client customer service, you don't get better customer service than Amazon. That's what they were built on. And you can really learn a lot about how to scale a company, but also how to just treat your customer base right from the beginning. And that's something that so many entrepreneurs overlook. They go into it thinking that they can make money, and they don't want to give refunds or acknowledge that they made mistakes or make it up to their clients. And it makes it very tough to expand. So just learning about customer service from the best of the best is something I highly recommend.
Yeah, I love the book Delivering Happiness as well, by the Zappos
book. Yep.
Yeah, which is
great book.
Yeah, they're both really awesome. In Australia, we're only kind of just getting Amazon. Like, they're literally setting up factories where it's kind of just been a book kind of place in Australia. So that's about to launch here, and they're just going, watch out, retail world, you're about to get smoked. everyone's looking forward to that. So, loved having you on. We're going to link everything we've talked about at passiveincomeyoung.com. If people want to find out more about you, they want to find that book, where can they go? What can they do?
Yeah, so you can buy the book right on Amazon or on our website. It's called Free Up Your Business, 50 Secrets to Bootstrapping $1 Million Companies. On Facebook, you can join the Online Hiring Mastermind group. You can join you can check out the Free Up blog. We have a lot of great content there. And right on freeup.com with 3 E's, you can book a meeting right with me. I love meeting with clients, learning about their needs and how we can help.
Awesome. We'll link all of that at passiveincomeyoung.com. People, if you have not thought about outsourcing, offshoring, remote workers, then I would highly recommend it, even if it's just your first step into trying to expand your team, and it's highly worth it because you won't believe how much more you can get done. Thank you so much, and welcome to the Youngpreneurs family, Nathan. I look forward to following your journey and hopefully expanding my team through you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Youngpreneurs podcast. This was proudly brought to you by the Podcast Institute, the #1 training resource to take your business from chasing leads to leads chasing you, and from an absolute amateur to a full-blown authority. If you're looking to take your business to the next level, then a podcast is the obvious answer. You can get national and global exposure in a very fast time, and it's just exactly what I've done with this podcast. So if you want to find out more, get a checklist on how you can get started for under $60, and to find out more through a small training video that I've prepared for you all, then please check out passiveincomeyoung.com/podcast training.